feel that you are calling the shots in your life? Do you have a sense of purpose? That you are creating your life and living it in a way that feels right for you and based on your values and how you want it to be? That's my question. If not, where do you go? How do you find the resources, the tools, or go within maybe to look at how to feel more like you are living the life that you're here to live? Well, one way I want to invite you to consider is maybe thinking about the ancient female ancestors, the women who you are descended from, the goddesses, the high priestesses from ancient civilizations, the women who ruled Greece and Rome and came to the more Celtic countries like Britain and Ireland and actually had a sense of keeping that sacred knowledge. That was their role. Ancient goddesses have existed since the dawn of time and were integral to the foundations of different civilizations and the world as we know it today. This is why they really are useful sources to go to, as their values and what they wanted are pretty similar to what we as women of the 21st century are looking for ourselves. That sense of connection, finding more creativity, being able to reinvent ourselves when we need to, and being able to love more. That's what these women did. So another way that we can consider using and looking to these women is in terms of our own sense of power. These wild women who we are descended from were powerful beings. And my question is, do you have a sense of your own power? Or do you view this word as something to be scared of? Maybe. I think many of us do. Or maybe you see the word power as being associated with greed and corruption, knowing it all, people being in charge, always having a plan. And that doesn't necessarily sit comfortably with how you want to be. So when a man said to me that if I stepped into my own power, I would be a powerful force in the world, I knew what he was saying was true, but my definition of power doesn't mean that I really want to be as power is seen in our world. So I don't really want to be the know-it-all or brash or forceful. And our ancient goddesses did power in a different way. So there is a feminine way of doing power. And considering maybe how we can look at power from surrendering to the unknown, being able to ask for help, being open to receiving from others, being kind, being vulnerable and open to new ideas is a different definition of power. It's more yin, it's more feminine, and it's what our world really needs right now. Because the masculine, the yang definition of power, is not right for all of us and isn't necessarily serving the greater good. Everybody has an innate sense of masculine and feminine energies. We need both of these energies in order to lead balanced lives. And our society for the last 3,000 years has been very male-led, and the patriarchal world we live in has meant that the male way of being and doing has become the accepted way to be, way to live. And this leaves in many women a sense of dividedness in that how we want to respond to a situation is often not the norm. It's not what men would expect. And so when we dare ourselves to put that across, we are going out on a bit of a limb to do this, with at the back of our mind the fear of being judged, maybe by our colleagues, being perceived as weak or going against the grain. And what results is that sense of how to manage these situations whilst really being true to ourselves, to who we really are, and not necessarily living life in that very male way. So for many men and women, how to negotiate living in both the masculine and the feminine energies to lead more balanced lives and to do it in a different way can be difficult. But we can look to our ancient female ancestors in ancient civilizations and see how they lived. Look at how they lived according to the seasons, trusted their intuition in how to make decisions, looked to the future whilst being very much in the present and respecting the past. They were healers, these women. They knew things. They trusted their gut. And these are the qualities that we can live by ourselves in our modern world. We too can trust our gut when we're in tricky situations and find our voice to speak our truth. So, if my words are touching you in some way, you're feeling that pull to have more connection with yourself, or you're curious to explore how to balance those masculine yang ways of living whilst being in your feminine energy, then feel free to book a free session with me to explore how to have a greater sense of your own power and how to live life, this lifetime, as you truly want to.